and welcome back to Scrap with Penny, where paper meets story. This is our 6th live, I think. We're working on June, so I think that's the correct math. I'll tell you what, we are leaving tomorrow for a big trip, and it probably wasn't the greatest idea for me to do this today, but you know what? We're here and we're doing it. We're going to have some fun. So welcome to my live, and we're working on month in review, and I'm just going to go ahead and dive right in. If you're joining me live, go ahead and chat, drop in the chat what you're here, goodness, let me take a deep breath and slow down. If you're joining me live, welcome, and go ahead and drop in the chat where you're watching or what you're working on. So I've got my layout out in front of me. I kind of thought we'd start there today. I can talk you through the pictures, and then I'll catch you up to speed on some choices and do a little bit of recap on our content and our overall plan. So this is June. I've got Steve doing his paint by number hobby. I've got sunrise. So in Texas in June, you walk early or you walk late. So this is a sunrise walk. Over here, I've got a sunset walk. And the clouds were so pretty. I took that picture and I just love it. Patio time. The dogs are playing with each other. So they like to do King of the Mountain. So Sophie likes to be up on the footstool. Coco likes to attack her. Here we did a special trip to Walt Disney World. We're almost always there for the 4th. So we inevitably head over there in June. And our daughter-in-law, Beth, was with us. And so Mulan is her favorite character. And we happened upon Mulan, so we had to get that picture. Then we've got dinner out in town with our local son and my other daughter-in-law and my mom to celebrate Father's Day. Daughter-in-law and her twin brother at a wedding. My Nashville kids doing the Pride Parade. Mom, Steve, and I doing a little meal out, I think on the square in McKinney. And then Beth was in town for work, so we've got a little family shot. And then Andrew hugging his dad for Father's Day. Hey there, Vicki from Southlake. We're almost neighbors. I'm in McKinney. And hey there in northern Alberta, Canada. Oh, is it warming up there any? We are, we're going to get up to, well, it's already hot here. I'll just leave it at that. I don't know what we're getting up to. So those are my pictures, and I do have my journaling typed up. I will show you real quickly where we landed with May last month. I have posted this out on my social media accounts so you can see the finished product. And I'm building quite a little library of layouts, if you will. So here's my Trello sheet. I did not identify any June stories that I need to add to my list of things to tell. And since we did our last project, I have done Gojo and I did the custard. So I am being mindful to tackle my stories that we identify as I farm for these highlight photos, and I'm making good progress on that. And then just, a reminder, 2021 is what we worked on finishing last year. We are doing 2 a month so we can do double time and finish up. And then hopefully we're going to head into 2016. I'm going to use the same collection, different sketch. And let me show you, this is the die that I use. These little calendar pages, little calendar cards come from the Simple Stories Hello Today. I'm using Simple Stories Noteworthy. Loving the collection. And this is my favorite things, of course, obsolete die. But I think it makes the perfect little cut up there. So I wanted to call that out. I do prepare in advance my little month. This is the Echo Park marker set die. And look, y'all, we're on June. We're almost halfway there. So next month when we do it, I'll change the image and it'll say July. So that's a great little set that I picked up on the Echo Park site on the Black Friday sale. This pink June is cut with the Simple Stories bubblegum cardstock on the solid side. And you can see that they do a great job of matching their cardstock to their collections. I understand, Nicole. Hey there. Thanks for hopping on. Hey, I think it's Brenda. I think BNR Castile is Brenda. And I think Brenda recently retired. So hello in Georgia. If you're retired, I hope you're loving it. So this is where we're headed, and I think I can set this to the side and we can start off by cutting. We're going to cut 3 4x4 pieces of paper, and I selected these 3 for June. And the other thing we're going to do is we're going to cover our washi. I'm using True Colors washi to represent a stripe for this collection because it doesn't have one. So we're going to get that going, and we're going to cut our wood grain. We've got a wood grain that goes at the bottom of each spread. And like I said, I'm liking how these are turning out, and I am really proud of myself for reaching into a circular sketch for this because I've enjoyed it. So let's see. This wood grain is Echo Park, and I mean, it's just so yummy. I was so excited when they rolled them out as an ongoing availability. You know, sometimes you get a collection that's part of, you get a wood grain that's part of a collection, and you know, it's there and then it's gone. And so this one is going to be around for a while, and I have a good supply of it on hand. Is anybody working on anything today? Is it Fran? Just that is Francine is my mother-in-law's name. So I don't know. I've shared before that we did so many circles in Creative Memories back in the day that I have a little PTSD from it, I think. But this work is helping me overcome that. So that's good. I've not had anyone comment on the die yet, saying they can't get it or where did I get it. I can just turn this over and use this side. So this is the Vanessa Bell trick on the washi, and what it does is it gives a little heft, a little bit of weight to the washi, and also it makes it to where it's not see-through, so that you actually see the colors. You actually see the colors of the washi and not so much the background behind it. This is one of the most precarious moments of the live. Come on. And I stated in a process video recently that for the 2026 collections, it seems that Simple Stories has discontinued the washi. So that is kind of sad. But I understand it's a product that everyone thinks they have to have, but then they're not really prone to use it. Oh, thank you, Fran. The I think, you know, month in review, it's just all going to hinge on your collection and your sketch. It's really, to me, it's not ever really about photos. The photos are just the icing on the cake. Okay, so this is the one we'll use next month. I just like to show on screen how to do this. And is that everything I need for my big trimmer? It seems like I'm forever going back and getting it for something. I've got my squares. I don't know. I think that's it. We'll know soon enough. So coming back to my left page, I've got this paper slotted for the top. I think we can just dive on in. Oh, let me make sure I'm on camera. I'm going to try and work fast today because I have done laundry, but I haven't pulled one thing yet for our trip to pack. I don't really like packing, and I like unpacking even less. I like my stuff, and so whenever I have to downsize my stuff and pick what stuff goes with me, it's like, oh, this is hard. I don't want to scale anything back. Hubby is already off, and the dogs are not here today. Mom is in San Antonio, and so this is the rare moment when I'm in my house by myself. Doesn't happen very often anymore. That's all good though. I love my doggies, and we're happy to have Mom with us. She was funny. She couldn't remember how much together and when she was leaving. So, oh, it's going to be one of those days. I need to settle in and settle down. I was able to get, I'm just being nitpicky here. I was able to get all of my projects finished, so even though I'm gone, I still will have videos posting on Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, and I'm thankful for that. And there's some fun stuff headed your way, and I won't be back until April, so I've already got, I think, 3 or 4 April videos loaded as well. I was looking at April earlier today on, planning the content, and it's fun. It's fun to plan things out and stay on top of it. And I've got an idea about a project I can do on the plane to organize photos for my next set of Disney layouts. This doesn't seem to be connecting. Oh, that's so good, Nicole. I know, well, it's because this is crooked. Oh, we're just going to roll with it. It doesn't have to be perfect. I'll line up to the photo. Well, it seems like it's always something that bogs me down on these. Let's see. For what it's worth, hubby hasn't started packing either, and he's been doing nothing. Usually I put this down first and then I put my pictures down. So, goodness, I need to get it together quick here. I was thinking last night as I was pulling together the journaling and all, I thought, well, you know what? I can always add the journaling after the fact, but then I thought, no, the whole point is to get it done. So I always seem to procrastinate on journaling. It's kind of funny because the whole reason you start a layout is for the story. And then when it comes time to verbalize the story, you don't necessarily enjoy that part. If I could get some stability up there, that would help. Do y'all struggle with journaling? Okay, now let me just pop these pictures up and make sure they're I'm sorry I get to whispering, and then when I go watch it back, I'm like, you should not have talked softly. So there we go. Okay. Now that's good. Oh, let's get our little pictures up here. Oh, Nicole, it's because I don't have kids. You you would be appalled if you knew how little I left my house, because I know you're at that age where you were just go, 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 taking the kids here and taking the kids there. There was one point over the holidays where mother was gone visiting one of my siblings, and where did that other picture go? And to be honest, I don't think I left my house for, I hate to say the number out loud. It was over, it was more than 14 days that I was home, not going anywhere. I always said I was born for the pandemic. I didn't mind at all. My friend Sheila, I don't think she's on here today. She she gets cabin fever, and I'm like, I can't even relate to that. That's not ever going to be me. We were talking to someone yesterday, and they have uh, they live here, and then they also have property up in Iowa, and they're finding that they're retreating more and more to Iowa. And so Steve, so I've always had this dream. I would love to live on land and be out. As long as Amazon could come to my driveway, that's all I need. And so yesterday, Steve said, he goes, I'm liking more and more the idea of seclusion. And I'm like, oh yes, there's hope. So I don't know where we'll end up in retirement. We may not go anywhere, but there's a part of me that would love to look out on some land with a little bit of water on it, a little bit of lake or something. Okay, what do we have going over here? We've got Mulan at the top left. Oops, not the right one. Let's see. Last night I was trimming up these pictures, and I was very cavalier. I was like, oh, it's okay. It doesn't have to be exact. So we'll see if my cropping holds up. I don't like to work rushed, but sometimes you just have to. The other part of me loves the thrill of rising to a challenge. So I always say I'm a little bit of a dichotomy. And I think that's because I work out of both sides of my brain. Sometimes you may notice I'll use my left hand with my pencil on a video. And I always kind of thought if I tried, I could really write well with my left hand. I don't remember anybody that was naturally left-handed being scolded or reprogrammed like was so often the case. I'm so glad that some atrocities that we suffered through are no longer an issue. I know there are other different issues out there, though. Seems like it's always got to be something, which is why I love this hobby, because it's a complete escape. You don't ever really take pictures of the bad moments. And so whenever you're working on something, you know, it's good memories. It's smiles and happiness. It is hard, Fran, to make a decision based on your family. And, you know, I said for a long time that as long as my mom was alive, we would never leave Texas. And I mean, that's true, but the other part of me, I don't know. I mean, there is a part of me that thinks I could never leave. I, it's just, you know, sadly, when you're from here, it is such an identity thing, whether it should be or not. And the thought of not being in my home state is hard, but you never know. I mean, one thing I've learned is you can never say never. We don't have any grandkids right now. I don't know. I feel like we will someday. But, and I don't exhibit or exude any pressure on that, because we waited 7 years and I always hated people asking me. It was none of their business. But for now, the only constraints we have are our children. There we go. Okay, so now I think we should cut our journaling. I'm using I created a template in Canva, and I'm using the Creative Memory Circle Cutter, the medium template with the orange blade. And if I get it lined up right, it's going to be just fine. On my June, I always cut 3 of those in white so I can stack up some layers behind the colored cardstock layer, just so that it has a little bit of dimension. Well, that's not good. Or depth on the page. I've shared before that this blade really likes to dig into the mat. Okay, so my bottom part's disconnected. The top part doesn't really matter, but there we go. Well, good enough. So anyway, you can always kind of see at the top of my journaling, I've got 3 little month labels cut out. So now we can take this down, and then we can do our cut here. I don't really have a way to stabilize it. That's what I was going to say. And there I go with spring again. I'm sorry. The problem when you're trying to work in frame is that you can't see everything. Your hands, because you're up around the camera. All right. It's not straight. The first month I did this, I taped this to the page, and that was even worse. I better stay this side up. Okay, third time's the charm. There we go. What do you grow, Fran? And would you still grow things in retirement? I heard someone talking yesterday about how we're so geared to want to retire early, and that sometimes it's a little better to work longer. I thought, well, as Nicole says, you do you. Oh gosh, there's no way I'd still want to be working. No way. Okay, so now we can start with our circles. And I've shared before, the Echo Park paper is slightly short, so I'll trim this up. It's kind of frustrating, but I'll tell you what, I usually get really excited when I come across a collection and the paper is a true 12 inches. These are my little circles. Back when I did the prep, which if you've never seen one of these before, there's a whole playlist and there's a prep, and I grabbed a bunch of dies and just went to town. So I've got this one going here, and then this here. I'm wearing shorts today, and y'all, there's snow in the forecast for our trip. So I'm definitely leaving our beautiful Texas spring and heading into a German winter. But it'll just be part of the fun, right? I have long john underwear I'm taking, I'll tell you that. Because if I've got to be out in it, I want to be warm and not, miserable. This goes up here. And this goes right here. And this goes here. Okay, so that is the nice thing about prepping in advance, is it does usually come together pretty quickly. Someone told me that Creative Memories had rolled out a new trimmer, and I'm like, this one isn't even that old. So I think they get a couple of demerits for already having an upgrade. Let's see. Oh, gardening. I don't have any, my claim to fame on gardening is that I've managed to keep a Schefflera alive since January 2018. And I've got 3 porch plants that I'm struggling with right now. In fact, I need to water them today. And I think I should bring them in the house before we leave. I don't think there's any way they can stay irrigated while we're gone. We don't get a lot of rain here. Excuse me. Let's see. This goes, we'll put this one down next. I don't worry month to month about the circles lining up, you know, where they land on the page. There's many times when I'll say, when your family's looking through, they're not going to be assessing something from one layout to the next. So as much as I tend to be a perfectionist, there are some things I won't hyperfixate on. What I think on the month in review layouts is that they're kind of a meat and potatoes. They're a basic. They're not a big, you know, gourmet, fancy layout. They're documenting the everyday. And so accordingly, I cut myself some slack on them. I don't like that that little flower is upside down. So we'll just rotate it. I love the little white cardstock inserts on some of these because it gives your eye a little rest and gives it a little interest. Has anybody done any fun shopping lately? Got anything you're looking forward to playing with? We have so much on hand. Let's see. And this one goes up here, but we do need a little bit of a strip there. So I have this one that, let me tape this down and then I'll slide it under. Let's see, it goes under this one. I think one thing I enjoy about the circles is the layering of them. Collectively, I think they're more palatable or impressive, if you will. Okay. I'll trim this one. Excuse me. After the live, I always go back and add the little cut pieces to the other side, but I'm not ever going to do that live. What was I going to do next? I don't know. Okay. So my smile is going to go right there. You can go ahead and stick it down. I hate to cover up their pretty shoes. And then I'll put June right there. Let's see. Carrie Bradford Jumbo Alpha. Nicole, I have actually been thinking about purging a lot of my scrapbooking stamps because I just cannot ever make myself reach for them. Why don't you do a little series? Go channel some 2006 Nicole McGork and get us back to stamping on our scrapbook pages. I can't seem to ever want to do it. And you know, in the planning video, I pulled some stamp sets for this series, And I just, oh, I know what I need to do next. I need to get my washi down on the bottom. Okay, so to make things extra complicated, I decided that I only wanted 2 of the rows here to show. And so that way it would be a different width than this piece of washi. But the other problem is that it's hard to see where this is lying down. Just work it into something. I know what you could do. Go live and do it. Right? I mean, like, who would in their right mind? I would not ever be the girl going live to do stamping on a scrapbook page. No way, no way. So what I've got this piece of French vanilla bumped up against this wood grain to show me my bottom, where I can kind of run this washi along and get just the 2. And this is the other cut. You know, a while ago, and I was like, I think I used my big trimmer for something else. This is it. So that's good. I'll set this to the side and we'll crop it. We'll cut it in a second. Let's get it on the bottom of this one. Do y'all stand when you scrap or sit? I usually sit, but I find myself standing a lot on these lives. But I think of it as a little cardio event, to be honest. Some parts of it always have my heart pounding, nerves. I've shared before, it's hard for me to, you know, be patient and wait for the clock, because so much of my life, there's not a lot of things I have to be on time for. And it's very nerve-wracking to wait for the 12:15 mark to hit and then hit the go live button. I think it was the 4th video. I had talked for like 3 sentences and I realized I hadn't pushed go live. A lot of buttons to remember to push. Okay, I'll tell you what. We're gonna trim this at the end. I'm gonna go ahead and get my circles taped down. I hate hauling that big trimmer back up onto my desk, but oh, Nicole, you never know till you try. I get it though. I do. All right, where's this one? We're just gonna trim this without testing it out. And for that matter, we'll just trim this one too. And look at me, speeding along. Hey, I think this is one I was missing from. No, it's not. All right. I don't usually worry about it either, Fran, but sometimes I do not like picking up the mess I made. Sometimes it looks like a tornado came through here. But I do always think that means you had a really good time. Yeah, that one might be a little bit short, but it's all right. And I say every month, I don't really like the green flowers. So those are the ones that get the axe. I wanted it to look like this. So we're going to do that. And I think these two don't get a trim. Okay, let's see if we can tape these down. On 3 dies on each spread, I used my favorite things pierced stacks because the sketch calls for stitching, and I knew I was not going to commit the devotion to these spreads to do that. So I brought in those pierced stacks to compensate for that. I love to stitch, but I think the very first year that I did month in review, it had stitching on it, and it was like a nightmare. Okay, I'm gonna have to hope that this is right. And I'm gonna tell you, I honestly don't know if I ever finished the stitching on that. I'd have to go back and look. I don't think I did. I think when I did a month in review layout share last year, I realized that I thought that album was finished, but it's not. Okay. This goes here. When I first saw this collection, I wasn't really sure that I liked it. But that Simple Stories, they usually know how to get to me. They get almost all of my money. Okay. Now we need to put our little foam dots on my 6. A little tedious. Someone shared with me recently that We Are Memory Keepers has a new tool out that is signs of first world luxuries, that dispenses your little foam down onto your project, and it takes the backer paper off. I'm like, oh my word, that is really. Now, I can't talk a lot because I do have a little tool that squirts out glue, but I thought, man, that would be kind of crazy to have a little dispenser of foam squares. I have to, I know that sometimes I feel like I'm fighting with my fingernails, but that's been my biggest sign of aging is that I have to be in polish for my nails to have any durability at all. So it's necessary evil. I don't think it matters that that comes up onto the pink. Okay, let's do a little cleanup here. And then I can trim my washi off the bottom. And then we can embellish. And I've already picked a few things out. I was working for my Girl Scout preparedness badge this month. No, it's really just because I stink so much at making fast choices. Okay. I got into this March spring cleaning mode and oh fiddle, let me take this off. I took this thing apart and I cleaned it. And then what was funny was I was trying to put it on wrong and I was just like about to break it. And then I realized I had it going the wrong direction. Mother was sitting here watching me. She's like, what are you doing? I thought, oh, I'm driving myself crazy. Okay. Is this it? I think so. Not quite. Well, it's kind of sticking right there. I don't think I would ever employ this little idea again. It has been unnecessarily harder than I thought. But I always say you live and learn. I've learned so many things. Have a good lunch, Nicole. Thanks for hopping on. Okay. Now where's the other one? So then after I cleaned this trimmer surface, I went to my little trimmer and got all the gunk and goo off of that. Okay. All right. Now I think we're done with the big guy. Okie doke. Here's where we are. And I've been doing like a little bit of a cluster over here. And so this is the cardstock sticker. And this is a piece of chipboard. And I pulled this, but I also pulled this. So it just kind of dawned on me that the darker mint might be too much for, oh, I like that. Might be too much for going up against the lighter mint. And sometimes I will go ahead and pick out a rub-on. And I couldn't decide in advance which one I wanted to use. But we'll see what we can do. I think I think we can go like that. Yeah, we'll just go right there like that. Okay, now, where are my rub-ons? They're right here. I was kind of thinking about taking half of this and going under there, but now I realize that I've stuck that down. I couldn't do that. I can do this little wax flourish. I could also do a post. I'll tell you what. Why don't we do this little circular post? Do y'all work with the rub-ons? I think they're another casualty of Simple Story streamlining this year. I don't think they're in the collections anymore. But someone feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. I think the rub-ons are gone, the chipboard frames, the sticker books, and the washi. That's saving me money. Okay, well that's cute. So then you take whatever the backer paper was and you just rub along it and burnish it, and that kind of helps to set it. Kind of my thought on the rub-ons was, you know, if you've got them, you need to use it. So that's why we're using it. What else do I need? Let's look at the floral bits. In the prep video, I shared where I put the die cuts onto these magnetic album sheets. And so what we're looking for is we want something here and something here, and we also need something up there. I wonder, look, we can put that up there. This little wax stamp is cute, but I should save it for when I actually have a little wax image. This Days of Memories is kind of calling out to me. I'm sorry for the noise, y'all. Well, that's also cute. Maybe I should get this because it would repeat the red. I was thinking when I was pulling this, so this is from the foam sticker set, that the red is in this collection, but it's not really prevalent. Yeah, that works. So what did this. That'll live to see another day. And I don't see anything on this. I would kind of like a smaller date stamp. Maybe there'll be one in the sticker book. I find that green to be a hard color to work with. We've usually had a little phrase right here. I think I'm going to grab this noteworthy, which means I probably need to change the push pin color. What else? Kind of looking for something here. That's cute, but I don't really understand it. Okay, so here we are to the flowers. I have shared that these floral clusters are kind of larger than you need them to be. You know, like, it's just so big. A lot of the smaller ones are gone. There's a small one right here. Let's go ahead and grab it. I'll worry about the big guys being left until later. Let's see. All right. So if we do that, like right about there, then we can come in like that. And that looks good. And I was thinking I could get a foam push pin. Let's see. Maybe this yellow one. Okay, let's go ahead and get this down. Did anybody say, are they working on anything fun? Y'all just watching me? I think watching videos is very enjoyable. I have way more that I want to watch than I can get watched. We have an abundance of content. Let's see, I didn't get down to the bottom here. That's because I laid it down before I trimmed, which is not the end of the world. Can fix it real quick. What's your layout about, Fran? I don't know. I don't have anything lined up specifically to start on when I get back. I know I've got a cut file project. I'm going to go ahead and put this down. Let's see. Kind of like it splitting the gap, however you say it. Oh, we're going to get our little yellow push pin. That goes right there. And I need foam on this. I know on my Disney, I'm headed into Epcot next, and that's Steve's favorite park. So I can't decide if I want to do a festival story or if I want to do an attraction, a ride, or if I want to do something in the World Showcase. Let's see. Okay. I think I need a third item for here. And, oh, I need a third item for up there. And I said I wanted to see if I could find a smaller stamp. So here's the sticker book. No, I don't want it to be the same kind of stamp. Oh, here's these stamps. So what color? Maybe, can't be that one or that one. Maybe the yellow? I would have to pick a very small surface on the back. Oh, goodness. When I need smaller pieces of foam, I'll just take my trusty Tim Holtz scissors and cut them in half. Okay. This doesn't have foam on it. I'm sorry on the embellishments. I understand that. Stars are good for boy layouts. They've been my rescue for many a layout. Okay, I'm going to come down a little bit. We just passed the 1 hour mark. We're doing pretty good on time. I'm never very good with arrows. Are they the arrows that are like made with chevron pieces, or are they arrows like you would put in a quiver and shoot with a bow? Oh, almost there, y'all. Almost there. Okay. All right, something for here. Let's look at our brads. The little camera's cute. And that's about the right size, but no, let's see, the color, it's up against this pink. Oh, goodness. I think I'm going to grab the camera. No, I just can't. It's too much pink up against one another. Okay. This is done. And then are we done over here? If we could find a little tiny floral piece. Oh, maybe this one. Those are nice to use. I never seem to remember to reach for them. I have a die that makes them. Okay. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Did we get everything? Let me see. I think so. I think this can be done. Now, you know what that means, y'all? It means I have to go back. Goodness. Okay, so the next live is going to be 2 weeks from today, which, oh, I had this date in my mind earlier and it's gone. The 9th, right? No, I was looking at March. The next live will be, that can't be right though. Yeah, it is because April's a long month. Okay, so the next live, where we'll do July 2024, will be Monday, April 13th. And then after that, Monday, April 27th. So if you've been here 4, 6, 4, 6, I'm still gone. So we're going 1 week beyond that. And it works because we can do the 27th. So I feel like that is everything. It may be that I don't really see me adding anything. Usually I'll put a phrase up here, but I don't have to do that. And they don't all have to be identical. But at any rate, I think this one is good. I think this is done. That means we're halfway through 2024. And I'm going to go ahead and sign off. If you're one of my subscribers, thank you so much. I appreciate you being here. And if you just found me on this live or on replay, I'd love to have you join the community. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button and join in on the fun. I'm going to clean up this mess. I'm going to move on to something else, which it's not going to be scrapbooking. It's going to be packing. But I know what I'll have waiting for me when I get back. And thanks as always for hanging out with me. I appreciate y'all. See ya in 3 weeks, I guess.